Welcome to Thriving Beyond podcast. What if I told you there's something just absolutely essential for thriving? I mean, something as vital as, say, physical breath, but for your inner life.
Yeah, not just a nice to have spiritual thing, but something genuinely fundamental.
Exactly. Today we're talking about why daily prayer is seen as so incredibly important.
Right. It's presented less as just a habit, or some religious task, and more like, well, like spiritual oxygen.
Spiritual oxygen, I like that. The very thing you need for a connected, resilient inner self. Maybe even the anchor you build your whole life on.
Mm-hmm. And we're kind of digging into why it's viewed as so powerful, so transformative.
It's about finding those insights, isn't it, for building that strong inner foundation, the kind that helps you thrive no matter what's happening outside.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's get into it. The first big idea seems to be how this daily practice keeps you spiritually awake.
Yeah, think about it. Life is just so noisy, right?
Oh, tell me about it.
The constant notifications, the demands, the worries swirling around, endless information.
It's so easy to get lost in all that external stuff, lose your inner focus.
Totally. And then there's also this other layer mentioned, this kind of unseen opposition. Like that idea in First Peter about needing to be vigilant.
Right, the image of an adversary,
Yeah,
someone or something actively trying to distract or pull you off track.
exactly. So daily prayer is positioned as the way to counteract that spiritual, well, sleepiness.
Okay.
It helps cut through the noise, both outside and inside your own head. It keeps your heart sort of sensitive to what's actually true and real.
Anchored in that connection instead of being swept away by chaos or, subtle lies.
It's like a daily reset button
Like
almost.
recalibration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stops you from just drifting away from what really matters.
Which connects beautifully to the next point, doesn't it? Building intimacy.
Absolutely. Makes total sense. Any real relationship needs consistent interaction, right? Two-way conversation, just being present with each other.
You wouldn't expect to feel close to someone if you only called them during an emergency, would you?
Of course not. Or just, checked in once a week briefly.
Right. Intimating grows in the regular day-to-day stuff, sharing the small things, the mundane things, not just the big crises. And there's this principle that's highlighted, you find it in James, draw near to God and he will draw near to you.
Okay. So it's a two-way street.
Exactly. A reciprocal thing. Your consistent prayer isn't just you firing off requests into the void.
Right.
It's you actively choosing to draw near. And that's what builds the connection, makes the relationship feel more personal, more, well, real over time.
Okay. Now this next one. I think this hits home for a lot of people. The idea that prayer can release a kind of supernatural peace.
Oh, definitely. This speaks directly to, well, the human condition, doesn't it? The burdens we all seem to carry.
Yeah, the anxiety, the worries about what's next, dwelling on the past, things we probably shouldn't be carrying alone.
That constant background hum of stress, it almost feels normal these days.
It really does.
And prayer is presented as the way to actively transfer that weight daily.
Transfer it. How so?
By consciously choosing to hand over the anxiety, the fears, the stuff you can't control anyway.
Okay.
That passage in Philippians is really key here. Don't be anxious about anything.
But in every situation, present your requests to God
Yes.
with thanksgiving. And the result promised right after.
And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds.
See, it's not just wishful thinking or a vague feeling. It's described as an active release that allows this, unshakable peace to come in and stand guard.
So it's more than just venting worries. It's like you said, an active exchange, giving the worry for the peace.
That's a really good way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Which leads perfectly into the next function. Prayer helping align you with your purpose, with God's will.
We're all trying to figure things out, aren't we? Make good decisions, find the right path. It's easy to feel a bit lost sometimes.
And consistent prayer, based on these ideas, puts you in a position to actually listen, like tuning a radio.
Kind of, yeah. Tuning into the right frequency. It helps you discern the next step, aligning what you do with a deeper sense of purpose.
So instead of just reacting to whatever life throws at you.
Right. Instead of reacting to external pressures, you become responsive to that inner guidance.
Okay.
Think about that verse in Psalms. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. Prayer connects you to that light, illuminating maybe just the next step, not always the whole 10-year plan, but the direction you need right now.
That definitely shifts things from feeling tossed around to having a sense of, guidance. Okay, what about prayer as a spiritual weapon? That sounds intense.
It does, but it addresses the idea that some challenges we face aren't just physical or emotional.
You mean like internal struggles,
Yeah.
negative thought patterns?
Exactly. Or temptations, feelings of despair, influences that seem to actively discourage or try to derail you. Those unseen battles.
Like those inner voices saying you're not good enough, or that feeling of hitting a wall when you try to do something positive.
Precisely those kinds of things.
Mm.
And prayer is shown as the way to actively engage in that unseen reality.
Oh.
By activating, sort of, spiritual protection, strengthening your inner self to withstand those attacks, empowering you to resist things that pull you down.
Right.
That call in Ephesians is crucial. Pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers, and it adds, be alert and always keep on praying.
It's not passive then. It's an active stance.
An active, ongoing posture of finding strength and defense.
Wow. That feels, well, it feels empowering. Like you're not just subject to these things, but you have access to real strength to fight back.
And what makes this so compelling is seeing how consistently people throughout history, especially in the stories we draw from, actually did this. They prioritized it.
Yeah, the example that always comes up is Jesus himself.
Right. Mark 1.35. It's often pointed out. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, went off to a solitary place where he prayed.
Just stop and think about that. If he found this essential.
Then the implication is, how much more do we need it? It really drives the point home.
It suggests it's not just for, super spiritual people,
Yeah.
or only for when you're in a deep crisis.
Exactly. It's framed as foundational for everyone. And you see it echoed elsewhere too, right? Luke saying, we should always pray and not give up.
Mm-hmm. 1 Thessalonians just saying, pray without ceasing.
Colossians urging, devote yourselves to prayer. Even the Psalms, in the morning, Lord, you hear my voice.
These aren't just gentle suggestions, are they? They sound more like core instructions.
Pretty much presented as non-negotiable disciplines for a thriving spiritual life.
It really builds a strong case. And hey, for those of you listening, if this is striking a chord, if you're finding value in exploring these ideas with us,
Yeah.
maybe take just a second right now to hit subscribe and perhaps leave a comment below. Let us know what's connecting with you, or maybe what else you'd like to explore.
Absolutely. Your support really does help us keep these conversations going. We appreciate it.
We really do. Thanks.
Okay, so moving from the why this is so vital to maybe the how. How can someone practically engage with this daily?
Right. The practical side.
Well, one powerful approach that's mentioned is using specific truths, often from Scripture, as a kind of framework for your prayer time.
So not just reading the words, but actively speaking them out. Personalizing them.
Exactly that. Taking a foundational statement about God or about your identity in Him and using it to actively shape your thoughts, your outlook, your expectations for the day.
Making a universal truth your personal declaration.
Mm-hmm. It's a way to actively push back against those negative thoughts or external pressures we talked about earlier.
Okay, give me an example.
Sure. Like instead of just hoping you'll manage the day's challenges, you might anchor yourself in a truth like Philippians 4.13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Right.
And the prayer then becomes something like, okay, God, I declare your strength is mine today. I refuse fear. I won't quit. I can face this because you empower me. You're speaking that truth over your circumstances.
I see. Or for peace, instead of just cycling through worries.
You could focus on a promise like Isaiah 26.3. You keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you.
Okay.
And the prayer might be, Lord, I choose to receive your perfect peace right now. Help me keep my mind fixed on your truth, not on anxiety. It's an active choice to receive that available peace.
And for guidance, maybe feeling unsure about a decision.
You could lean into Proverbs 3.6. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths straight.
Mm-hmm.
So the prayer becomes, Father, I trust you with my plans today. I surrender my own way. Show me yours. Guide my steps. Make the path clear. It's that act of surrender and trust.
This feels really different from just making a list of requests. It's more about aligning yourself with a different reality.
Yes, that's a great way to put it, aligning yourself. Which brings us back beautifully to that big idea, the daily exchange.
The daily exchange. Okay, we'll unpack that a bit more.
This might be the most transformative way to look at it. Daily prayer isn't just a task you check off. It's an invitation into this ongoing dynamic exchange with God.
Okay, exchanging what for what?
Well, it's presented as trading your fear for his faith,
Hmm.
trading your weakness for his strength, trading your own limited plans for his bigger purpose, trading your heavy worries for his peace that, surpasses understanding.
Wow. So it's a constant process of letting go of the heavy stuff.
And receiving the resources, the strength, the peace you need to actually thrive.
It's not just talking at God. It's a transaction. Release the burden, receive the good stuff.
Exactly. And the key emphasis is daily, a non-negotiable rhythm.
Not just for emergencies.
Right. Not just when you hit rock bottom or face a huge crisis, but every single day. In the ordinary days, the good days, moments of gratitude, just as much as in the hard times.
For that ongoing connection and fuel, not just the rescue service.
Precisely. And the conclusion drawn is pretty powerful. This isn't just about making your morning better or fixing one specific problem. Engaging in this daily practice, this daily exchange, is presented as something that ultimately transforms your entire life. It reshapes who you are from the inside out and how you experience everything.
So let's recap. Daily prayer. It's like spiritual oxygen. It's key for intimacy, a source of real peace, a guide for purpose, even an active spiritual weapon.
Yeah. All back up by historical examples.
Made practical through these kinds of declarations.
And at its heart, a potentially life-altering daily exchange.
Yeah, a fundamental pillar for really thriving inside.
That sums it up well.
It's definitely a profound idea to reflect on. As you, our listeners, think about this, maybe consider, what could the cumulative effect of that kind of daily exchange actually look like in your life, say, over a year or 5 years?
And maybe more immediately.
Yeah.
What's just one small, tiny step you could try today or tomorrow to maybe dip your toe into this idea, to explore integrating it into your own rhythm?
Just something to think about. Thank you so much for watching and being part of the conversation today.